Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, Jon Herold, and happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. How are you guys choosing to celebrate? Elf Boy John, please have the new Alpha Beard Oil ad. I'm the one who made the new Alpha Beard Oil ad, so of course I have that locked and loaded. Interesting to me that in the chat and online, I feel like the topic most people are talking about is the freaking Don Lemon thing. The Don Lemon. Did you guys see? I'm sure most of you by now have. The protesters up in Minneapolis interrupted a church service, and Don Lemon was like part of the group. And let me tell you, I personally do not care if Don Lemon goes to prison because I feel like he would enjoy prison and some of the activities that take place to people like him in prison. He'd be a king in there. So no, I don't care if he goes to prison. But that is not the accountability I'm looking for. Daily covered it. Wait, it's a holiday. I should get paid for being off. Same here. No days off though. Wednesday marks the 1-year anniversary of this show, which is cool. I wonder how many episodes I've actually done. I did figure out, I rough estimate, I didn't go count exactly, but I'm pretty sure I did roughly like 460 streams in 2025. Let me look at the playlist and see how many, there's 240 episodes of this show in the playlist. So that's crazy. Crazy times. We do have other stuff to talk about. I mean, we can talk about the Don Lemon thing if you guys want. They're being so stupid up in Minneapolis. I think they want Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. Like both sides of the Uniparty want him to invoke the Insurrection Act for different reasons. One side, to be the super base and red pilled whatever. The other side, so that they can use it against him, both narratively and probably to impeach him. They're going to need a reason, right? So when all sides of the Uniparty want Trump to do a thing, he's probably not going to end up doing that thing. And if he does, he's going to do it in a different way that they can't use against him. So we shall see. We are still waiting. Maybe he'll invoke it while at Davos this week. CK Ultra Mega Force. Must not have watched in a while. Alpha John has some unruly hairs atop his head. I do. Do I? Oh, I do. What in the world? Thank you for pointing that out. Trump bringing the heat to Davos this week. Yeah, we have a couple stories we'll talk about with that. Putin, the Board of Peace. The problem is not Lemon. They all feel there will be no accountability. They're getting bolder, and I want us to attack, as John is saying. Sometimes I feel like both sides are baiting each other. Yeah, we call that a circle jerk, typically. A controlled opposition circle jerk. But anyway, let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll start trucking away. Good to see you, Ty. A little late, but still good to see you. Let's start with a little Unicity. BadlandsHealth.com.
You deserve more than sluggish mornings and blood sugar spikes. Discover the simple daily system that helped so many regain health without dieting or exercise routines. 2 easy-to-take daily drinks. A brain-boosting, appetite-suppressing morning blend that ushers in energy and clarity. A hearty, fiber-packed pre-meal drink that stabilizes blood sugar, aids digestion, and fights cravings. It's a gentle, science-backed path to improved metabolism, renewed vitality, and lasting weight control. Feeling better starts with this simple 2-step daily protocol.
So if you're feeling sluggish, guys, I can vouch for it. I love the Unicity, the Yerba Mate. Badlandshealth.com. Check it out. We also got Van Man in the mix today. You know about Van Man taking down big toothpaste with all-natural oral care, right? It's the perfect time to grab the dental care bundle to gift. Van Man's tooth powder is loaded with minerals like eggshells and bone, and combined with pulling oils and peppermint aloe mouth rinse. It's truly the ultimate fluoride-free dental hygiene bundle that saves you 25% off the individual prices. And the van never stops, introducing Van Man's new Pearl Eye Cream and Sweet Onion Shampoo. Head over to badlandsmedia.tv/vanman to see what's new. That's badlandsmedia.tv/vanman. Then finally, guys, we have one more sponsor, and it's us. It's Beard Oil, softdisclosure.com. Get yours today if you haven't yet.
I am a kung fu master. Why do you not respect me? You want to fight me? I will fight you to your death. Do you want to tame the mane that is your ugly beard? Do you want your beard to feel silky smooth? You want to make it illustrious like my kung fu beard? Then you need Soft Disclosure Beard Oil. SoftDisclosure.com. Promo code Badlands.
A soft disclosure on your beard. Many lady come to you.
Softdisclosure.com, guys. I want to find a video of the protesters at the church. I mean, I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but I have a couple articles on that. So here's this. Share my screen. Do that. Okay.
Renee good! Renee good! Renee good! Renee good!
This is ridiculous. Like, so stupid, these people. I mean, what are they doing? Like, what's the intention here? What problem are they trying to fix? Going into a church and doing this, what is that going to resolve? That's question number one. Number two, they did it without any face protections on or coverings or anything. So everybody will know who these people are. And they recorded it themselves. And we're like taking each other on Facebook. And this is like an actual type of crime, you know, interrupting a church service. Very retarded of them to do this. Just so stupid. But Pam Bondi is super serious about seeking justice here. I just spoke to the pastor in Minnesota whose church was targeted. Attacks against law enforcement and the intimidation of Christians are being met with the full force of federal law, not the partial force, the full force. State leaders refuse to act responsibly to prevent lawlessness. This Department of Justice will remain mobilized to prosecute federal crimes and ensure that the rule of law prevails. Now, what I find probably most interesting about the whole thing is the one update to the presidential website, January 16th. Was that Friday? That was Friday. This came Friday, Religious Freedom Day. And it's all about religious freedom. It comes a day or two before protesters walk into a church. Some great timing. For 250 years, our nation and our people have abided by a simple truth. Every person is born with a God-given right to practice their faith, follow their conscience, and worship their God freely and without fear. This Religious Freedom Day, we honor America's distinct place in the halls of history as the only republic ever founded upon this sacred principle, and we renew our commitment to upholding our proud legacy as one glorious nation under God. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But what do you know? That the day after, because what day did they go into the church? Was that Saturday? I don't even remember. Could have been Sunday, which was yesterday. But what are the odds that this comes out just a day or two before. Tamshin in the chat said, I'm nearly positive that more than 50% of Don Lemon's views are right-leaning reading. Oh my gosh, I can't read today. It's a Monday. Right-leaning podcasters. And that's an interesting point, because how much of the social media controlled opposition circle jerk is people on the left sharing what people on the right say and be like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then people on the right sharing what people on the left say. That, oh my God, look how gay. That's a lot of it. Most of it. Don't Lemon gave a Judas kiss to the leader? What? Lemon is a fool. When he asked the minister, so you want us gone, he effectively admitted he was part of the crowd. Yeah, that is retarded, but don't care. Monday blues, John? I don't have the blues. I'm feeling good. I'm just a little tired. And it's Monday. You know, Sundays are typically my off day outside of the gaming that I did. So I'm a little rusty when I come back on Mondays. Of course, he wants to be probed. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I hope they do that. I hope they have a headline like that. Justice Department probing Don Lemon for role in church interruption. Lemon after circle jerks. Oh my God, look how gay is a much better comment. Yeah, it does not matter. I don't think he matters either. He only matters as much as we pay attention to him. Just like any of these people. Chris Paul, by the way, had a fantastic article you guys all have to read, talking about our elections and kind of the state of, I want to say state of the union, but I mean, you could say that. It's so good. Let me find out what it's even called. I don't remember. I was going through looking for like quotes to pull out of this article, because that's what I typically do. As I'm reading, I'm like, okay, well, this would be a good one. I'll share it with this. And then it's like, holy shit. I had like 30 different quotes that I couldn't even decide what to use. But the title of the article is Joe Biden Was Never President, an object lesson in the use of the informational time machine. I think the context that this provides it's just foundational to how we move forward and operate in the info war, with the understanding that our elections are fake. It's so important. You guys have to read it. Lemon kissed her on the cheek before entering the church. I'm pretty sure it's highly illegal to invade a church invade a church for God's sake. Yes, that is illegal. But so are a million things that are illegal. Do we ever see the justice on it? I don't know. Speaking of not actually seeing justice or accountability, or like even the narrative conclusion to a psyop, we had this story. Where's it at? Yeah, here we go. This is hilarious. No longer in my hands. How Hill Republicans stopped caring about DOJ releasing the Epstein files, as if they ever actually cared in the first place. On the 1-month anniversary, cheers everybody, happy anniversary, of the Justice Department missing the deadline to release all the Epstein materials in its possession, Republicans in Congress are largely shrugging their shoulders. Some of them are openly admitting it's no longer a priority. I don't give a rip about Epstein, says Lauren Boebert. Like, there's so many other things we need to be working on. Yeah, because they're doing a whole bunch of other work. But it's just like open-ended now. That I was told by social media influencers that the vote that they held to release these files was one of the most important things ever. One of the most important votes our Congress has ever done. And the executive branch is just like, yeah, well, you guys are retarded. We're not taking that seriously. Richard wrote, John, according to the restraining order, I'm not allowed to read Chris Paul. Well, that's not good. It's a weird restraining order. Black people have to be extremely motivated to protest in 0 degrees. That's true. And by motivated, you mean paid, well paid. It's probably what's happening. Lee Walden, first off, it's private property. Can't protest in their house. You can on public land. PJ Corrigan, didn't they make a law that ICE couldn't go into houses of worship to apprehend illegals? That's a good question. I don't know if that's true. Let me look that up. Can ICE go into churches to arrest illegal immigrants? Like, is that the cheat code? If I ever get in trouble with the law, got to just go to the church, hide out in there. I can stream from a church, and I know some priests that would house me. Like they would let me sleep in the church. I can make it happen. Ooh, but it's no longer a thing. Yes, ICE can carry out immigration arrests at churches, but there are important limits on where and how they do it. Let's read up on this. The Trump administration rescinded a policy that required ICE agents to seek additional authority prior to conducting immigration enforcement actions in locations like churches, schools, and hospitals. They revoked that on January 20th. Churches are rightfully concerned the rescission of the policy will result in raids or enforcement actions at or near churches. Many United Church of Christ local churches have immigrant welcoming ministries. Can churches provide legal protection? No, they can't. I guess I don't really care beyond this, but you get the point. BJ Corn, he knows some priests that would love to house me. I'm sure you do. I don't know if you guys saw, but I haven't even read it, but I saw the article, title of the article, some guy who he used to write for Badlands. I've never actually spoken to him outside of, we may have met at a conference, but I don't even remember meeting him. So I can't even with 100% certainty say that I've ever spoken to this guy. His only connection to Badlands was through Burning Bright, the Substack manager. But he apparently wrote an article calling me a psychopath, which is hysterical. He's really desperate to like insert himself into the whole legal shit. But yeah, I'm a psychopath by somebody who's never even met me. Isn't that great? What meat do priests eat on Fridays? None. Hey, that's naughty. Dev House, did anyone hear the prophetic word Julie Green releases this morning? I did not. There's no right to protest. The right is to peacefully assemble. The First Amendment puts religion above the right to assemble. The military didn't go into mosques to get people in Iraq. This isn't Iraq. This is America. Anyway, no update on the Doge website. Silver is popping off. I think we're going to get triple digits this week. Record highs above $95. Gold, record highs, $46.93. Weirdly, though, Bitcoin's coming down. It's 93,000. I mean, still buying opportunity. Anything under 150 is probably a buying opportunity. I guess I don't even know if I can say that safely. There are people who think it's going to be millions of dollars, like Bitcoin someday. You just never know. And so anything below its all-time high is a buying opportunity. I just don't know what the all-time high is going to be. But it is weird that gold and silver are popping off and Bitcoin seems to be going down. Unless people are taking money out of the Bitcoin to get gold and silver. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I have another story about Don Lemon. He's been warned by the Justice Department. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harmeet Dillon criticized Lemon in posts on X, stating that houses of worship are protected spaces under federal law and that the First Amendment does not shield the disruption of a prayer service. Dillon said Lemon was on notice. Is this what our Justice Department does now? Like they don't even actually send notices. They just put you on notice on social media because they're super serious about you being on notice. It's not even like, here's your official letterheaded, document for your records. It's read my tweet. Just everybody tag him so he knows. Dillon said Lemon was on notice, later adding that the FBI had been activated, because it wasn't before, and accusing the protesters of desecrating a church and interfering with Christian worship. Lemon entered the church as protesters chanted "ICE out" and filmed the disturbance. The protest followed heightened tensions after the shooting of Renee Good, which Lemon has been covering. He denied any wrongdoing, saying he was acting as a journalist with no affiliation to the group and dismissing calls for prosecution as unfounded. The protesters reportedly believe the church's pastor, David Easterwood, was connected to a federal immigration enforcement, a claim Lemon echoed online. A man with the same name serves as acting ICE director of the St. Paul field office, though it has not been confirmed whether he's the same individual associated with the church. I mean, that'd be kind of wild for somebody to be a director of an entire ICE field office while being a pastor in the downtime. Like, good for you. Lemon later interviewed city's church leader, Pastor Jonathan Parnell, who described the protest as shameful. Lemon responded by citing constitutional protections for speech and assembly. His stance contrasts with the 2024 interview in which he urged Elon Musk to remove certain posts from X, a request Musk declined, arguing the content was lawful. These guys are also gay. Don Lemon just happens to be like a great embodiment of it because he is physically gay as well. Like he likes the pee-pee in his butthole. It's just so annoying. So stupid. Elf boy Don Lemon is married to a racist white man. That is the rumor. Dakota Yo. Is that the... Yeah, that's him, but he's retarded. What else we got? Elon Musk gives $10 million to boost pro-Trump Kentucky Senate candidate. Elon Musk has given $10 million to the pro Nate Morris Fight for Kentucky super PAC. So I thought he said he was going to like pull out his money. Now he's putting it back in. Morris is a 45-year-old entrepreneur and ninth-generation Kentuckian. He's running to succeed retiring Senator Mitch McConnell. Do people really care about like I'm a ninth-generation Kentuckian? Like, do people really care about that? Like when they vote? I mean, I understand like why they include it and say it, and to some people it's like, oh yeah, that sounds nice. He's been here his whole life. He's definitely going to keep my best interests in mind because this is the ninth generation of him that's been here. Does that really matter? He founded Rubicon. You know what? Rubicon was one of the early names that I considered for Badlands. Because at the very beginning, we were like trying to brainstorm, a whole bunch of us, what to call it. And Rubicon Media was one of the choices, like crossing the Rubicon, you know. But instead, I went with Badlands because it's much more of an homage to my home state. But anyway, one of the nation's largest waste and recycling companies plans to largely self-fund its campaign through the May primary, largely self-fund outside of the $10 million he just got from freaking Elon Musk. That's retarded. Musk, who was the largest donor in 2024 with nearly $300 million to Republican causes, mostly supporting Trump, has also given to pro-GOP House and Senate super PACs. Reports indicate he met with Morris recently and was impressed by his business background, anti-McConnell stance, and outsider message. Musk's private conversation with Republican operatives suggests he may contribute more this cycle. Well, isn't that just interesting? Wait, what? Jessica, what is that? Where we go one, we go all GTG. Best one yet. What is the GTG? Don Lemon married him so he could stick it to the white man. Oh, I see. That's great. Now I understand. Co-founder media, that was another option. Good to see Apache Kekistan. I think it was more important in the past. When life gives you Don Lemons, make him go to jail. Solid. Rubicon, you were just considering SUV vehicle names, PJ Corrigan? You don't understand how hard it is to like I knew how amazing whatever this media company was going to be. So I wanted a name that wasn't retarded, you know? Like, ironically, the retarded media probably would have been a good one. But it took me a couple weeks to settle on a name. Like I was struggling. We hundreds, if not thousands, of potential suggestions between the group of us that was there at the beginning. I'm a co-founder of Wanted Rubicon. I guess SUV vehicle is a bit redundant. Yeah, you're an idiot, PJ. Anyway, let's keep going here. What else do I got? Virginia governor rescinds Youngkin order requiring ICE cooperation. Newly sworn in Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger has revoked a directive issued by former Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin that required state and local law enforcement to cooperate with immigration and customs enforcement agents. This is an interesting little back and forth because if we're being honest about the situation here and like the role and size of our government, should ICE even exist? Like, is that too broad of an authority? Like, should we just have the military doing all this stuff and that be it? Like, when it comes to protecting our borders and the homeland, like that's what Trump initially set up here at the beginning of this term. It's like the military's job is to secure the border. You guys are going to secure the border. And we have this other agency, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, from the first principles approach and the constitutional understanding of the role of our government, should an agency like ICE exist? Okay, that's my first question. And if so, when it comes to whether or not governors have the ability to, like, yeah, don't cooperate with ICE. It's an interesting legal framework. I'd be curious to see something like this go to SCOTUS, because I don't think ICE should exist. I mean, it does, and it's great that they're getting rid of illegals. I love it. We can abolish ICE as soon as all the illegals are deported. Win-win. See, we could do that, but I'm like saying I'm totally in favor of just our military doing it. Just Coke, off subject, but did you watch the Bears game? The tying touchdown was amazing. Too bad they lost. Yeah, that was crazy. What the football games yesterday, definitely off topic, and I know some people don't care about football, but the interesting thing to me was the Josh Allen. There was a catch in that game towards the end that they ruled an interception, but then later that day, there's a similar, like almost exact same thing in the Rams-Bears game that they called a catch. Like same exact play. Both kind of had it. The receiver definitely caught it, came down with it. But then in an instant, the defender like takes the ball from him and ends up with it afterwards. And this, like, I don't even care which one way or the other, what you call it. I just hate the inconsistency. And that's what is upsetting about all form of refereeing. I know it's a human element, but when you have the human element, like there's all sorts of different motives for people making different calls. And who knows? It's rigged. You can say that, whatever. But that's the frustration with refereeing. It's not whether or not a call is good or bad. It's just, if you see that call, are you going to call it the same way every single time? It's never about whether or not I agree with the call. It's about the hypocrisy in refereeing. That's what annoys me about sports. Until Congress repeals law, the law that created ICE are going to do what they're going to do. Yeah. Wouldn't that be interesting if they get to the point where they actually try to repeal the law that created ICE? Can't believe I thought NFL wasn't rigged years ago. Yeah, you got screwed this year, Ty. When I say rigged, I don't mean like the whole thing is scripted out. There's some of the stuff that they do on screen that like you need a sufficient amount of athletic ability to pull off, and it'd be impossible to script. The rigged comes in from like the control mechanisms around the outside of it. Like they operate as they operate on the field of play, but things are, put in place, like the refereeing, for instance, is a great one to try to dictate the outcomes. And there are people that probably blow the games too, but it's much like the devolution situation, right? Like Trump put Biden in a box. He could only do so much and operate within the controlled system, the playpen. It's like sports too. Bears left 6 points on the field going for it instead of not attempting a field goal. Yeah, fixed. That's a good way to put it, Richard Rohr. Social Security numbers belong to the federal government. They issue them. Virginia should lose. The NFL is fake and gay like our elections. Very much so. Very much so. But it doesn't mean it's not entertaining. Like watching everybody react and interact with the election stuff is entertaining sometimes. Just like watching football is entertaining sometimes. Trump has invited Russia to join the U.S.-backed Gaza Peace Board, which is pretty cool. Let me read the story here. Russia has been invited to participate in a new U.S.-backed peace board proposed by President Trump to oversee post-conflict governance and reconstruction in Gaza. Peskov told reporters that President Vladimir Putin received the invitation through diplomatic channels and said, what is the difference between regular channels and diplomatic channels? Like had we sent an invite to Putin through non-diplomatic channels, would that change the reception of the invite? Or would the invite not matter? So these are just like my inner thoughts as I'm reading the story here. We are studying the details of the proposal. We hope to hold contacts with the U.S. side to clarify all the nuances. Decline to provide for what nuances? Like nuances of the plan or the board or what? Invitations have been extended to a wide range of countries across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, including U.S. allies and key regional players. The proposed peace board would function as an international council tasked with coordinating reconstruction funding, security cooperation, and political coordination in Gaza, working alongside the Palestinian technocratic administration. Sounds real exciting. Hold on once. Oh yeah, college football national championship game is tonight. Are you going to the game, Ty? Do you think Trump's peace board is his plan to replace the United Nations? That's a good question. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, the United Nations is definitely going away, and I don't care for us to be in there. Like, I don't think we need these huge international bodies. Like, we don't need to replace it. The regions of responsibility is much more interesting. You get together with people in other regions every now and then, talk peace, whatever, do your summits. But I'm much more comfortable with us spending money and time and effort on things in our hemisphere versus things in Europe. If you care less. Nunya, Illinois Badlander meetup was so great. We had a Minnesota Badlander come. Scott. Oh, Scott's awesome. And I understand why he'd not be in Minnesota. I'd want to get out of Minnesota too. Maggie Bundy driving home from church. Hey, fam. Maggie, did Don Lemon interrupt your service too? He's just traveling the country right now, interrupting church services. So be on the lookout. Donald Trump shared this article on True Social. This is what he said. Let me just read it. Rigged elections are common in the U.S., with the presidential election of 2020 being the granddaddy of them all. We demand voter ID. And I think it's funny, this coming out on the heels of Chris Paul even releasing that article, because in the article, he's like, elections are, it's binary. Like they're either fake or not fake. There's no in between. So it's funny that Trump is like, rigged elections are common. 2020 is the worst of all. Anyway, he's shared this small voter fraud scandal and Smalley fraud scandal. Republicans probe, there's that word again, Don Lemon's favorite word, probe evidence of a blue state election scheme. As the magnitude and complexity of Minnesota's Somali immigrant welfare fraud scandal came into clear focus, Republicans in Congress are more boldly talking about it being part of a larger scheme by Democrats to use illegal immigrants and purported refugees to hijack federal elections and manipulate apportionment that determines Americans' congressional representation and federal funding. Haven't we talked about this a million times by now? There's another thing in Chris Paul's article. I can't stress enough how you all need to read it. It's so good, but it's so brilliant because it covers stuff like this. Like, these are stories that we're getting. We get it as breaking news. Yet if we had been talking about it and operating as such, as if this, like, we've known this for a long ass time, things could be different. Jarhead Pick 7. I never get here live. Normally at work and catch the replay. Does that mean you have Martin Luther King Day off? Because if so, where do you work? Who gives Martin Luther King Jr. Day? My kids didn't have school today. I thought that was kind of interesting. But do people celebrate? Like, is there something that people celebrate on Martin Luther King Day, other than like being excited that they don't have work? And this is a genuine question because I don't know. Like Christmas, you get Christmas off. You go to church. You spend time with family, open presents. Like, what do people celebrate when it comes to Martin Luther King Jr. Day? Chicken and Waffles Day? Is what's the chicken place called? Chick-fil-A? Is that place open today? Do they take it off? Because I feel like on a day like today, they'd probably do some. It's probably their busiest day of the year if they are open. My company recognizes MLK as a paid holiday. Tulsa, Oklahoma has a parade every year. Well, isn't he like from there though, or something, or around that area? Mississippi takes a day off. It's a big deal here, like some kind of black yearly work strike day. MLL. It's supposed to be a day of service where people go out and do nice things in their community. I hardly ever see that happening. Is that what it's supposed to? Because if that's what it's supposed to be, that was not translated to me growing up. Isn't President's Day tomorrow? Is that true too? When is President's Day? No, President's Day is until Monday, February 16th. Go Dogs Go, correct me. Chick-fil-A does not do fried chicken. That's the whole point. So no MLK specials. Popeye's chicken has a specials all day. What about Kentucky Fried? Do they got it? So what is keeping Kentucky Fried Chicken in business, by the way? I haven't been there in a while, but like the last time I did go there a couple of years ago, I mean, little sketch. Wasn't Camel Toe in Illinois pandering to Black Americans? Well, if by pandering you mean... Never mind. Bojangles. Obama got Chinese sculptor who imported Chinese stone to sculpt the MLK statue. I did not know that. FKC, no. That's an old white plantation owner's chicken. Well, I mean, if you're going to have chicken, you want it from a white plantation owner, right? Today's my son Sawyer's 23rd birthday. Happy birthday, Sawyer. I assume you're watching along with your mother. I never eat out or take out. You never know just what a disgruntled food handler might add. That's a good point. Man, so they have parade. Maybe North Dakota just doesn't take Martin Luther King Jr. Day as seriously as the rest of the country because we do not have parades. School is closed. Banks are closed. No mail to... Well, Badlands is open. We do not celebrate. So apologies. Oh, lost my screen. I don't even know if I care to talk about this, but it's kind of what we've been talking about on Badlands since stuff like this has gone down. Trump has authority for Venezuela strikes without Congress, but power is constrained, legal experts. Since this whole op-ed about whether or not he has constitutional authority and if he does anything in the future, does he have to go to Congress first? I would say no, because Congress is illegitimate. And the whole thing is stupid. I thought this was hysterical. Trump ties Greenland takeover bid with failure to win the Nobel Prize. U.S. President Donald Trump tied his ambitions to annex Greenland to his unsuccessful bid for a Nobel Peace Prize in an extraordinary message to Norway's prime minister. Trump said he no longer feels bound to think purely of peace. European countries are weighing using their so-called trade bazooka after Trump threatened tariffs on European allies. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer said it's completely wrong to impose tariffs on allies, that the future status of Greenland belongs to its people and Denmark. Well, then don't be against what we're trying to do and we won't tariff you. But isn't that hysterical? Like Trump is, the story here, the framing here, and maybe Trump is leaning into it. He's like, you didn't give me the peace prize, so I will never be peaceful again. It's like, that's like a villain story arc right there. It's like the villain didn't get the one thing he always wanted. And so instead he used it as motivation to tear the system down. That's Trump, and he's tearing down the Nobel Peace Prize. Big peace, we call it. That's that industry. You have big health, big pharma, big oil, big peace. No longer. Today, President's Day and Juneteenth, about the only days off I can get a haircut or car maintenance appointment. that true? Do those people not take those days off? And do other people also with the day off not go do those things? Or do they not do it because of black stuff? Jarhead is not a Fed. He's just a federal contractor. Same thing. I want to see what Hakuna Matata got in her swag bag. I'm thinking there's definitely Nobel Peace Prize refrigerator magnet in there. Oh. Imagine the heads exploding if it's renamed Whiteland because of the snow. That'd be hysterical. Or Caucasian land. That'd be great. We could call it that and really make him upset. Please forgive John as his face is only halfway in frame. He's near. Oh, I always, because the chat's over here. And when I'm reading that, I get out of focus. So my bad. I could just like center my chair on my desk. That'd probably help. Elf Boy, always a critic, man. If I can't be a peacemaker, I must bring a war. Yeah, but then at the same time, there's stories of, I think I saw it today, Trump, Putin meeting. Let me find the story in Telegram where I saw it so I don't butcher this or spend a million years trying to find it. Oh, no, that's not it. Was it just a disclosed tweet? Oh, never mind. It was just a disclosed TV tweet. Trump wants a signing ceremony for his so-called Board of Peace at the World Economic Forum in Davos. That came out today. And so people are like, well, he invited Putin. If Putin joins, he'll be at the signing. Him and Trump are going to meet. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But now you're going to annoy the people that hate glowing cubes. Well, you guys, for those who are wondering, I have been cleaning out my bookshelves. I just got to figure out what I want to put in there. But soon, maybe this week even, I'll have the camera facing back the other directions. CanCon kept sliding down in his chair on OnlyLands. It was so funny. He'd make it to the bottom of his flag behind him and then sit up back in the stars. I do the same thing now and then. I try to take into account with my camera, like if I sit up as tall as I can, which I do sometimes when I get real excited, the top of my head is cut off. But I do that because as I sit down and get more comfortable, as the stories get more and more monotonous and boring, I'm still in frame. See, I thought you did the opposite of what people demand of you. I do, but also like I like my bookshelves as my background. So if I actually want the thing, then I'll still sometimes do it. I just won't let them know that I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. My garbage was picked up today. Oh, shit. I didn't put my garbage out, but I don't think our neighbors did. I don't know if anybody did. Because I think our garbage people had the day off. They must have a black working with them for them. Because I feel like that's when you have to take it seriously. If you have an African American on the payroll, which I guess I have two of them, so was I supposed to? I must have missed a memo. I sometimes don't check emails. Maybe I was supposed to take it more seriously than I did. Am I supposed to get them something? Do you guys know? Like, should I have sent flowers? No, that story's dumb. That story's dumb. Oh, this was super gay this weekend. All the biggest douches conning the future of, we should call them like something else, Bro Inc. or something. I don't know what you call these people, but they all got together and partied and did streams and stuff. So boring. Davos this week. I am curious. I don't know what day Trump is speaking, but I enjoy the articles and the stories that come out of Davos. They're all the worst people, but it's good insight into what the regime. It's like a heat check almost. Like we can understand what they're thinking, where they think things are going, where they're trying to lead it. And this is one of the stories they're already talking about is OpenAI warns of growing capability overhang, which is it's a term they made up themselves, right? But it's when people have access to all of this, all the tools in the world, all the tools they could ever want in ChatGPT, but they don't use it. They don't use it to its fullest capability. So they created a term for it, capability overhang, and they want more people relying even more so on AI technologies. Polymathon, just tell them you're sorry. John froze on the screen. What am I sorry for, though, again? What did I do? Just tell them, if you demand the day off, you can have the rest of the year off also. It would be nice of me to say what my friends call today. Just saying. It would not be nice of me to say. I think Trump speaks at Davos on Wednesday. Can the government get double pay for working holidays? Today is actually Robert E. Lee's birthday. Ironic. Is that true? That can't be true. It is true. Wow. January 19th, 1807. That's why we should be celebrating, guys. I get it. You find out what new language they're going to call certain subjects because the old language doesn't work anymore. Yeah, once we catch on to the PSYOPs, they have to like adjust the PSYOPs mid-course, and that's what we get. What else? Trump had a couple other interesting True Social posts. Building a New York stock exchange in Dallas is unbelievably bad thing for New York. I can't believe they would let this happen. A big test for the new mayor. See, I didn't even know they were building a New York stock exchange in Dallas. I think they'd have to probably rename it. I feel like that one's trademarked. It'd probably have to be called the Dallas Stock Exchange. But I didn't even know they were going to do that. Like, makes sense. Get out of New York. I would too. NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. Thy will be done, says Trump. It will be done. What else? I might be out of stories already. Yeah. So yeah, guys, you have homework. Your homework is to read Chris Paul's article. Also tune in tonight on Baseless Conspiracies. Mondays are always the worst news days, especially on holiday. Nunez, it's also her grandfather's birthday. He would be 107. Wow. New York effed up. MLK Jr. wasn't a very good person. Went down a short rabbit hole on that topic. I feel like we did a Baseless Conspiracy on that topic at one point. My manager told us to celebrate in your own way. What does that even mean? Yeah, whatever. I'll move on. It's the old Dallas Fort Worth Enron trading floor. Bodes well, I'm sure. Very fitting. Jarhead Pig, Baseless Conspiracy, my favorite show. I think we're having, what's his name on tonight? Frank, quite frankly. Summer Sunset 01. Last night's Q After Hours was horrible. So disappointing. Why is that? What did they do? What did those guys do? John, what are you going to ask General Quast? We're going to be talking about energy on Wednesday. I have a few questions already, but I think it'll be a good discussion. Very good discussion. That guy was my hero growing up. Which guy? So I'm going to make myself bigger there. Quast's homework assignment was a deep dive. Fagin as well. I have to read that still. Does anybody have the link for that again? Because I accidentally closed out of it. POTUS is speaking at Davos on 121, 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so Wednesday. Yeah, he's speaking on the anniversary of the Daily Herald. He's trying to cramp my style. I have to shower after Baseless Conspiracies because it makes you filthy dirty. Well, I don't know what you're doing while watching the show, but it's not anything I recommend. And then one person says, I loved last night's Q After Hour. Oh, the first hour and 15 minutes was Alpha and Josh talking about haunted stories. Oh. was hoping to hear Q drops. That's not disappointing. I mean, people are going to talk about what they want to talk about. Who cares? Trust me, there are plenty of people out there that are talking about Q drops. You can get their fill. I like the way they talk about it, though. Doesn't make me feel like I need a shower. Yes, Q was not good last night. Won't give up on them. Still love them both. Well, I'll be sure to let them know that they're terrible, but still loved. Just like I tell my kids every day. The narrative was great last night, BB and Ghost. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. That was pretty good. Toy Story 3 was okay. Don't they have 4? I see they're coming out with another Toy Story. Did you guys know that? Josh is definitely an acquired taste. Alpha had a Slender Man experience, and Josh was explaining to him what was going on. Now I'm curious. I kind of want to watch. Anyway, I'm going to send you guys over to Y-Chromes. Come on, John. You know you're going to cancel Alpha and Josh now. No, it takes quite a bit for me to cancel anybody. Basically just treason. But yeah, I'm going to send you guys over. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Hopefully tomorrow will be more exciting, more stuff to talk about. So if you guys have any topics you want me to discuss, be sure to send them my way. But yes, please make sure you celebrate Martin Luther King Day. Take it super seriously, guys. You guys have a great rest of your Monday. See you tonight on Baseless.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.